Here we go.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Landed for Success. I am pumped. I'm excited. We're going to jump right into it this morning. I have a very, very special friend of mine that has been a friend for well over 20 plus years, maybe even going on 3 decades. He's an incredible businessman. He's an incredible family man and loves to help a lot of people. And, he's got a special guest that he's going to be interviewing today that is going to teach you how to generate more leads. And we all know more leads means more appointments, which means more sales and more ka-ching, right? Money in our bank account.
Cha-ching.
And this gentleman, I had a chance to listen to him on an episode one time, and he said, "Hey, how would you like to make more money while you're on the golf course or at the cottage?" So guess what I did last week? I was up at the cottage, and it sits beside a golf course, but unfortunately I don't know how to golf. But I was able to relax, refresh, recharge, and generate more leads while I was at the cottage, all because of this incredible individual that Mr. Terence Lushington is going to be introducing to you right now. So welcome, Mr. Lushing. Welcome, my co-host, Terence Lushington.
Thank you, my man. Thank you very much, and welcome to all those who are viewing and all those who have joined us. And today is a privilege because I met the gentleman only about a few weeks back, and he inspired me by his words of wisdom, his attitude, his feeling of life. So it's Mr. Jason Hunt. He is not only an incredible dadpreneur, but he's also a digital marketer. And of course, he's the co-founder at Merge Media. So, this is Jason's time, and he's really enjoyable to view and to hear and to listen. So, Jason, the floor is yours, my friend. Are you there, or is it frozen?
I'm here, yeah.
Here we go.
There he is. He was just teasing us, I'm telling you.
I love it when we fall into a dark hole, and how do we get out of it? Yes, Jason. I just made the intro, and I'm just waiting upon you. So, what does Jason do? What makes Jason tick? And why is Jason so vibrant and so excited in these times where everybody's saying, "Oh, we're suffering with this pandemic"? Teach us more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, it's been a tricky time for a lot of businesses. A lot of our clients who were in the travel space, dental space, restaurant space. It's just been a challenging year for them, who had to put holds in their marketing budgets. But where some industries are suffering, some are thriving. So, we saw a surplus of people in the e-commerce space, as well as home renovations thriving during the pandemic. People are spending time on their home and not on vacations, not on cruises. They're spending money on staycations. So industries like landscaping, we recently partnered in 2020 with a landscape company, became shareholders in the business, and we helped that company grow from a $200,000 a year business to 1.3 million in a matter of 12 months, which is crazy. And it's a lot of that is credit to the SEO that we're doing for them, as well as the Facebook retargeting. So it's been a really interesting year for them, and they've seen a lot of success. So, and we're starting to franchise that business now as well, which is super interesting. So,
Wow.
yeah, so it's just been a really interesting year, roller coaster for a lot of businesses. And the ones that are thriving are likely the ones that made some sort of a pivot in their business in 2020 and started focusing a lot more on digital as well, where the attention is.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I know a lot of people's eyebrows got raised just now, including mine, when you said you took a business and you've taken it from a couple of $100,000 to 1.3 million. So everybody's asking the question, how do you do that?
Terrence,
Yeah.
what I love, though, that question you just asked, like, Jason, you said it so casually, though.
I know.
200,000 to over $1 million.
$1.3.
Facebook targeting.
It's
I'm ready. Look, let me grab my notebook, you guys.
Yeah, you know what? Let me dive into it a bit then. Let me give it a little more of an explanation, which I'm sure people want to hear. Yeah. So I'll have to go back a little bit just to my backstory. I started a social media agency back in 2015 called Fresh Crowd, based out of Oakville, Ontario, Canada. And I grew that business relatively quickly. amassed working with over 300 clients in a few years, and grew that team as well. And then in 2019, I realized the need that we needed to become more versatile for our clients. Our clients wanted more than just a social media manager from their digital person. They wanted the SEO, they wanted the Google ads, they wanted the website. So these kind of services that I couldn't provide before, now an opportunity opened up where I merged my company with a company called Casio based out of Milton, Ontario, Canada. And we collaborated our teams as well as our services and our Rolodexes all under one roof. So we can collaborate for all of the digital assets for our clients. And so from there was a big opportunity, because if you're doing any sort of an SEO campaign and you're getting a lot of traffic to your website, there's a big opportunity there to retarget that traffic and those users with a very specific Facebook or Instagram ad. Wow. So we started rolling out the strategy for our clients where we collaborated the SEO with the social media, and it worked like a charm. And for this specific landscape company, they were already doing some thorough SEO campaigns. So if you're in the Guelph area and you Google landscaping, a very good chance one of those three businesses that you see at the top are all going to come back to our landscape company. And that's through the SEO, through the search, through the content that we're writing for them, all that stuff. And then amplifying that with the Facebook advertising as well and the retargeting, it's been working great. So much so that it just makes sense to start franchising this business in other areas of Ontario as well. So we're starting to seek out franchisees that are looking to take on a landscape business, because one of the big problems, which is lead generation, is no longer a problem.
Wow. So you guys solved that for landscapers.
Yeah. For this particular landscape company. Yes.
That's incredible.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And, landscaping is seasonal in a certain way, I would assume. And still you can broad specter this in such a way that it creates I can't believe it, from 200,000, did you say in 12 months, 1.3 million?
Yeah, so 1.3 million, exactly. So what happened was Colin McMillan, who runs the company, he's young, he's hungry, and a lot of landscape companies, they can probably do a good job with landscaping, interlocking, sodding, all that stuff. But what they struggle with is lead generation and marketing, because that's not their one thing. And that's kind of like the mantra that we live by is, as a business owner, you got to focus on your one thing and be really, really good at it. And then leave the rest to the experts. The businesses that we find that struggle is when you have that person that runs the business wearing all the hats, trying to do the marketing and then trying to run the P&L and trying to do the actual business itself and manage employees. It's just too much, and you can become stressed. I mean, I was that person when I started my social media agency. I was doing everything from getting the sales to doing the actual content, and it was getting crazy. I had to leave the hospital for the birth of my second daughter because I had to go get work done. It's crazy because there was nobody else there to help me. But one thing I learned over the years is you really need to delegate to the experts. So I've been fortunate enough to surround myself with people that are a lot better at those tasks than I am. So it makes things very easy to delegate. So with this particular company, Colin saw an opportunity because he's not a marketer. He's a great business owner. He's not a marketer. And so he left that job to us. And when we have that power to be able to do what we can as a partner in the business, we can generate leads at a pretty rapid pace. So to answer you to a second ago, Terence, you talked about it being a seasonal business. It's not seasonal necessarily, because in the winter we flip on the switch to snow removal. So it's funny because last year, the first snowfall that happened, we got flooded with probably about 150 calls. And that's because people are searching snow removal companies in Guelph. And there you got like the first three or four listings on the first page are all circling back to the landscape company. So,
wow. So see, it's good to ask the question, okay? Because when you look at landscaping, you just think that it's landscaping in the summertime, but absolutely correct. It becomes a 12-month business.
It has to,
you can relate to it, and it has to. But that's what keeps it going. But so keep in mind, landscaping is just not landscaping. it's also winterizing the landscaping, you know.
Well, and so with we actually have a full annual package that we offer to clients where we're doing lawn care in the summertime, and we're doing that straight due to like September, October. There'll be like a cleanup month where the team will go in there and do a whole cleanup of the yard and then prep it, and then the winter snow removal hits, and it's just continuous. And they get a discount for becoming like an annual client. And so it's pretty good. Anyone has any questions? Riverwood Landscape is the name of the company. So.
Fantastic. Again, I got to repeat this because for me it's new too. That this is an opportunity where you're getting the full service. So it's like a cut key opportunity. They get a hold of you. You give them a price range. You make them a personal contact. You give them a discount. And being on this platform also, I think those who are with us get a little bit of a discount as well. And it's just a fantastic platform.
Yeah, it's so we like to call it like we're basically your outsourced CMO. Before you think about hiring an internal marketing person, talk to us first, because, you can hire us and you get an entire team behind us at a fraction of the cost. And I can guarantee you one marketing person cannot do all of the tasks or all the specialties that we do to the level that we do them, because the SEO team is not so proficient in social media. We have a social media team in-house for that, right? So, one's creative, one's technical. So there's very different skill sets that need to be encompassed into that one position, which is why we call ourselves the outsourced CMO. And for a lot of clients, I mean, if somebody's coming on and hiring us as their outsourced CMO, it can be heavy in terms of budget. You obviously have to have a budget for that kind of service. But I always encourage people that are small business owners, they can test the waters, try a couple services, try one service with us and see how the relationship goes. See if you like our processes. And also we can see if it's a good fit for you as well. A lot of businesses might not be the best fit for us. So we need to make sure that there is that sort of synergy. So what a lot of clients do is they'll come in, maybe start out with Facebook advertising or some social media management or just a local SEO package, and they'll expand and bring on other services and where we see there might be opportunities. And to that, there's a great opportunity there as well, because if I'm talking to a business and I do an audit and see that, they want to do SEO, they want to do Google ads, but they have a website that's not quite performing so well. Well, I'm not just going to sell them SEO. We're a company that only focuses in on SEO. We'll try to drill SEO down your throat, but I'll be like, hey, let's refresh your website first, because we have a website team here. And then from there, we'll start doing the SEO work. Or if you're a business that wants leads tomorrow, let's do a quick Facebook lead gen campaign with a lead magnet. We have a copywriting team and designers here that can do that lead magnet, and then we can run that Facebook ad campaign for you. Let's get you some leads now, and we can talk about the website in 3 or 4 months. We can have those conversations as a one-stop digital shop.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely. It's basically, actually, you're right. It's a one-stop shop. And by the way, for those small and medium business-minded people, it's also a decent tax write-off as you prolong it into your business. Am I right, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of tax write-offs, I'm no accountant. I have an accountant that does that for me. But in terms of, there are certain grants out there. We've had a lot of clients come in that have taken advantage of some of the grants the Ontario government is giving out. The Digital Main Street grant, is $2,500 grant for businesses that are in kind of core city areas. And we've had clients come in, try us out for a couple months. One client in particular is a scrapbook store. And they came to us with a $2,500 grant, and we said, okay, great. Let's try a campaign on Facebook ads for a couple months and include that Facebook ad spend within that budget. And if it doesn't work out, no problem. At least it's $2,500 of government money that you're spending on a social media campaign. We ran that campaign, and that ended up, but it's continuing to go today, and he's making a 12x return on his ad spend, which is amazing. Wow. And so yeah, he only expected to do the campaign for 2 months. Now he's using his own money, right, to start funding the campaign. That's a love. I love those
Grant
stories.
Cardone only gives you a 10x, and you're giving your clients a 12x.
There you go. How do you do that? What is it?
I don't know, but I just want to share that, folks, if you guys are watching, this is my good friend Jason Hunt. I've only known Jason, just this year, and you meet people that you meet them for the first time or for a short time, you feel like you've known them forever. You guys know, can anyone relate
Absolutely.
to that? Terence and I have known each other for maybe 3 decades. But what I love about this conversation is, look, I've been there with what Jason's talking about. I try to wear every hat. I try to do everything myself, and I can't. And I get frustrated. I get stressed, and I lose money. Jason talked about being your part-time CMO. I love that, you guys. Right? I love that. A friend of mine
Outsource CMO.
outsource it. So you don't even have to have the expenses, right? Of indoor. Is that the right word? That's why Terence is the host, right? But a friend of mine, Jason, he's an accountant, and he carved out being an outsource CEO for golf courses.
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
Brilliant, isn't it? So yeah, I love your idea. So if you guys are watching, we have so many amazing entrepreneurs here, business owners here in Lined Up for Success. I know some of you guys are killing it on your own. You don't need any help, but if you're like me and you need some help, okay, please reach out to Jason. I've been referring some of my clients to Jason. I'm going to continue to do that because it's very rare, Terence, would you agree that you find someone who actually has the experience and they're actually not just the experience, but they have the knowledge and the experience combined. We get people who have experience, but they can't teach it to you. They can't help you with it. They know how to do it themselves. And there's people who have the knowledge, and not to knock this, but I've had people show up and they got their certificate. They're an expert because they took a weekend course. Ouch. So
yeah,
anyways,
100%. Yeah, I'd like to add to that. Gordon. So, and because digital marketing, a lot of it is an easy point to entry. If you're somebody that wants to get into a new business, you can take a couple courses and there you're off. You can do it, right? You're saving people time. But there is a lot of this industry changes so often and so frequently. The amount of changes that we've had to do since 2015 with packages and add-ons and this and that, and now you have TikTok and Instagram Reels, and things are changing so quickly and so rapidly that a part of this business, a large part of it, is being ahead of the curve and being in tune with the changes that are happening. And so we have to have resources and contacts that are keeping us in the loop on these changes. So what happens here is you do get people, you have companies or social media companies and stuff like that, or individuals that took a course and they're testing with clients' money. That's not the best way to do it. If you go over to our page transparency on our Facebook page, which you should always do before you work with a digital marketing agency, if they're trying to sell you Facebook ads, go see if they're running Facebook ads for themselves. If you go over to our page transparency, you're going to see we're probably running about 10 to 12 ads right now. We're driving people into our funnel through our podcast, and which is key because our podcast is just providing straight up free value to our target audience. And from there, once you watch our podcast, we're probably going to put an ad in front of you to send you over to our blog. And from there, we're going to provide you some more value, probably through a downloadable PDF. And then at that point, you probably might get asked to have a consultation or have a get quote call, a discovery call. But it's only once you know the merged media name are you going to get to that point. And that's important because, it's not just about getting leads. I want leads. It's the journey that lead took to get to your business, which is so important because you only get one chance to make that first connection. So you got to make it count. So when that client or potential lead sees your business, it needs to be of a place of value where you're giving something up front, not just taking their time. And that's what I think a lot of people are missing the mark, is creating that value proposition prior to asking for that time slot in your calendar. So that's something just to think about, and just take a look at our page transparency as an example on how we're doing it. And then you can look at your competitor. And speaking of page transparency on Facebook pages, go look at what your competitors are running. And then through that, go look at how long they've been running their ads for, because if they have an ad running since May, there's a good chance that ad is working. So you cannot duplicate it. Don't copy it, but create something similar to it because it's probably working with your audience. Anyway, little tidbit there, little rabbit hole.
No, what you just said is the most important information that I just sucked in from what people should realize for their own business. So basically, you've got to know who you're dealing with. And to do so, you have to get the transparency of the Facebook information. You definitely have to watch their podcast. You definitely have to check their blog. And you definitely have to see the PDF on what format they're putting it on. And this is such an important piece of information. Why? Because this is their business. And if they don't get to know the person and trust the person and feel good about the person, fortunately for you, you've just got that personality that everybody likes you, but get to know the man behind the business. Get to know the man who is there, not the guy that you're watching right now, but what he can offer. And I love what you do, because whenever I've interviewed you, you always are off the cuff. And anybody who's off the cuff knows what he's talking about.
That might be a product of procrastination, though, too. When you procrastinate so much, you get good under pressure.
Yeah. No, but you bring the message across, and same thing with Gordon also. You bring the message across that the public wants to hear for their own benefit.
Yes.
So it's either I like you, I don't like you. 3 seconds to 7 seconds when you decide. You know what I mean? And that's what I think is vitally important. You know what I mean? And fantastic. Anything further do you mind adding, Jason? Because I'm missing a little bit of that oomph.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I appreciate what you just said there, Terence, and you're a facial recognition guy. So
Exactly.
It's so important. And on that topic and point of facial recognition, it's a great point for business owners out there. If you are not taking advantage of the opportunity of using social media to put your face out there and build a rapport with your audience, then you are totally missing out. Even if you're somebody that's not comfortable in front of the camera, I honestly am going to encourage you to put that aside and just get in front of the camera. Or if you can't do it, you find a brand ambassador that will, because that brand ambassador is going to return dividends to your business, because people want to work with people, and people are going to connect with your brand, not because of your logo, but because of the face behind that logo. So it's so important to put yourself on video, let people know who you are and why you're in the business that you're in, so they can develop that relationship with you without you even knowing. You know how many times I get calls from people that are interested in digital marketing services, and they're talking to me like I'm some sort of a rock star, because they already listened to 5 of my podcast episodes. They see me in a Facebook ad, and they see me in an interview like this. And you don't need to be
that masked man, right?
Right. But my point is, on a smaller scale, you don't need to be this outgoing person that's comfortable in front of the camera. Just get in front of the camera and talk a little bit about your business. Or like I said, hire a brand ambassador or an employee that will do it for you.
Ambassador.
Yeah.
Jason, there's a picture of you and Terence that we put out there on a little graphic. And I don't know if you see, like, picture like this, right? And somebody said to me, "Is that Superman?"
I didn't see that pic. I got to check out that pic.
I'll send it to you.
But on the subject of trying to do it yourself, Gordon already touched on it. I've always been a one-man show for many, many years. But unfortunately, I realized many years ago too that it just doesn't work. Because we think we know it all, right? But what happens in between? Technology changes rapidly, just like your iPhone every 6 months, and then new stuff comes in and you get lagged behind. If I wasn't on this platform of Landed for Success, I would not have been doing this interview with you.
Yeah.
Because I really wouldn't know how to, because there's certain elements that I don't have. So it's important that people understand it's not the money that you spend, it's the knowledge that you gain, and from that knowledge, it's the business that you attire. If you can develop your business 5 to 10%, it's a hell of a lot more than what you gave Jason. Am I correct to say that?
100%. And I love, and on top of that, I love what the community here at Landed for Success is really great. The value that comes out of those virtual networking sessions each month are amazing. It's great because you're meeting so many different contacts that are all good at their one thing. And that's the key here, is everybody's good at their one thing. So you can use groups like Landed for Success to find people that are able to fill those voids in your business. And that's key.
Fantastic. Before I say thank you once again, because you always have been an inspiration when you speak, and you always give a little bit more. I try to say, I write it down. I try to, I write it down. So every time I talk to you, I get that little bit more. And whoever or whomever are listening in, please take into consideration of the words of wisdom, because they really are for your business. It's not about Jason here. Jason is trying to help you guys to do what you don't know. And I say that respectfully. I don't say that with disrespect, because it's very important. Gordon, I'll give it to you, even though I'm hosting it, but definitely I'd like you to spend a few more
Absolutely.
words.
Well, thank you, Terence. Thank you for inviting such an incredible guest like Jason Hunt to be with us today. And like Jason mentioned, that we're here to serve you, right, in the Land for Success community. But most importantly, if what Jason talked about today hit a nerve with you, right, or you're thinking, yeah, I want to scale my business, I want to grow my business, I want to be on a golf course playing golf, and every time I get off the golf course, like there's another lead in my inbox. I mean, what kind of value could do that for you? You're out shopping with the kids, right? And you come home and there's like 25 new leads in your inbox. Whether you're a mortgage broker, you're a financial planner, right? You're an accountant, you're a butcher, baker, candlestick maker. Wouldn't that be absolutely amazing? And that's what Jason is, and his company Merge Media is able to do for you and your business. So please reach out to Jason. When we post this interview on our other social media platforms as well, we're going to make sure that you'll be able to easily access Jason Hunt. You'll be able to be able to reach out to him, communicate with them, and I highly recommend book that 15-minute consultation with them. We're so fortunate to have him, because I know for a fact that Jason has clients. You heard it. They're multi-million-dollar clients now, right? He's got clients that individuals I look up to that he's interviewed, the John Lee Dumases of the world, and here we are, this little startup, this little train engine that just don't want to stop. Right, Land for Success, and here's Jason Hunt giving us his time. So I hope you guys appreciate and understand that. Jason.
I appreciate the opportunity, Gordon. No, it's the opportunity here to
Jason.
connect. It's awesome, and you guys are awesome. This has been great, and like you said at the beginning, it's only been a short period of time that we've been in touch, but we've had a number of conversations, and it seemed like I've known you and Terence as well in our short conversations. Yes. I've known you guys for much longer, so I appreciate you guys and everything you guys are doing.
Goes both ways.
So
thank you, Jason.
Thanks
and
again,
thank you
Jason,
for being a gifting sponsor, right, for our
yes.
monthly event. It happens the last Thursday of every month. So if somebody's watching, you think, okay, when does our online event happen? Last Thursday of every month. You can't forget. And if you're interested, we only have 100 spots. That's it, 100 spots. Okay, so if you're interested, please reach out to one of us. We'll make sure you get the link to you, because once we hit the 100 spots, we cut it off. And you'll have to wait for the next month to come back, right, and meet amazing entrepreneurs that are ready. They're ready to do business with you. The question is, are you ready to do business? If you show up month after month after month, you'll find ways to easily and naturally, book appointments, have people want to pick up the phone and call you. But more importantly, with what we're doing with Jason here, him being in this community now, if you're looking for someone that can help you take those leads. I mean, how many of us leads, but we don't know what to do with them? Absolutely. Jason's going to not only teach you how to generate the leads, but how to nurture those leads. So thank you so much,
Very
Jason.
true. Thanks again.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason. God bless. Take care.